Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the Marvel Contest of Champions news show. 7-star giveaways in live streams is bad, according to this player. Gladiator needs a buff already. Let's see what the community says about that. Too many female champs this year is triggering this player, and so much more. Yes, hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to a brand new week. We've got some MCOC related stories to go over, especially as we... I can't speak. I'll leave it in the show. Especially as we mop up from the live stream things from Friday. So let's get right into the show. First of all, as you know, there was a live stream on Friday. Lots of information came out from that. We've done one video on it, one main video, and a secondary video about Event Quest. There's probably one more I'm going to do. Not like I did last month where there's tons of things to go over, because I did look at it and go like, well, to be honest, there's not a load of things that I feel that we should just devote to loads of different videos. I kind of felt that I was happy with my coverage of it, as the next video I want to do is all about Ascension and some top tips and top champions that I think will be very good for the community to ascend. So yeah, that's probably that. But there's a few kind of secondary things that I do want to talk about from the live stream. So let's get into the coverage and let's talk about Gladiator. So Gladiator's deep dive is already out at the moment, and definitely it's something that's well, not dividing opinion, but I've seen many people talk about the deep dive not having the best uses, synergies, and a few fundamentals that I think a lot of people would have liked to have seen from it. However, though, it definitely is a showcase of the potency. We've got on screen right now the champion in action. There's a nod to Juggernaut, which is kind of like a very important thing. And a freight train is Gladiator, with the damage that he can theoretically do. A lot of kind of like damage whilst champions are throwing special attacks with that kind of burst damage, so to speak. But I've seen a few kind of like people talking about the champions, well, like potencies, which is like a bit weird, but this is a bit of a weird one in any case, where someone is talking about how the champion is kind of labeled with certain things, like the confidence side of things, like being confident, super confident, and an ultra confident. And it was kind of a weird one seeing this particular thought process that it's so lame. It's so lame. It's such an odd thing to read, because I'm like, well, if you go to like the champion's kind of like weaknesses, and his list of weaknesses is very much a case of built on confidence. His vulnerability is a certain specific wavelength of radiation. A significant portion of Gladiator's power, essentially his strength, stamina, and resistance to physical injuries, are affected by his levels of confidence. If his confidence in himself wavers, he has been known to weaken substantially. And also, should he lose confidence in his ability, he becomes vulnerable to much weaker opponents, such as defeat at the hands of X-Men Cannibal. So I guess that's the thing, isn't it? Confidence plays a huge factor into this this character, this champion's function. And I guess, like, what do you kind of label that? Is it on confidence? But it's like, well, you can't really. Is it like some other factor? I don't know. I feel confidence is kind of the main way to kind of describe it. I have no issue with the fact of being, not slightly confident, but it's like confident, super confident, ultra confidence, because then it's like you're getting the idea of him building. It's like, well, he's got alpha power, beta power, gamma power, whatever. When it's kind of in game, but it's associated with Battleground. So it's a difficult one. I think that this is fine as it is. Next thing I'm going to cover in two parts, something, well, not weird, but yeah, why are we getting one champion this month, one new champion this month? So I saw this particular thread, and first of all, I was like, just out of curiosity, why are we only getting one champion this month? Is it always like this for the month of September? Now, I was thinking, like, this is so weird. This is a weird, like, post. But then as you scroll down and then kind of like learn from this particular player, it's like, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying this question. I am a new player, and looking back at old releases, there's usually been two champions. I was just wondering why there was only one playable champion this month. And that's the thing. Sometimes you kind of like don't realize. Next up, we're going to go on to, well, something all about champion releases. We're going to talk about like why this is a one new champion month, and also look at why and female champions. It's honestly a weird one. I did not have this on my MCOC community bingo card for 2023. But the first part of this was very interesting because I kind of reacted in a very different way the first time I read this, and in learning a little bit more. So on the face of it, when this player says, just out of curiosity, why are we only getting one champion this month? Is it always like this for the month of September? And of course, a lot of people, like say veteran players, including myself, look at this just like, well, this is a bit of a weird thing to kind of ask. Not ask, well, yeah, it's a bit of a weird question to ask. And I thought there must be a reason as to like why this was, but I was just like, well, this is just really, obviously people were saying that because people wanted old characters buffed, which is a very good point. Like, we need to see a bit more of the buff program, you know, coming back, resuscitated, which is a topic I do need to discuss in another video, but I won't probably have time until the next 2-3 weeks once we got like the new side quest and stuff out of the way. But yeah, that's the thing, because to test new things, people have cried out forever saying stop releasing so many champions, slow down, which I do think is good to have this once in a while old champion being reworked. But as we said, and as we kind of like talked about last week, this is something that revolves around money. If Kabam aren't making money from new champions, then they probably won't do it again. So people would have to buy those Iron Man Paragon featured and Iron Man crystals when they come out, so using a unit, or buying early access bundles, so to speak. And that's going to be the thing, isn't it? Because a lot of people probably won't buy the early access bundles unless they're looking to get the 7-star version. So then it becomes more of a whale thing towards the latter veteran point of the game. Sad to say. But then the thing is, I did then realise that this player says, I am not saying it's good or bad, I'm just asking a question. Because it's like, yeah, just an answer. I am a new player, and looking back at old releases, has usually been 2 champions. Just wondering, why is there only 1 playable champion this month? So that's the thing, just a curious player, which I didn't have that on my bingo card, that this was going to be a new player. New players come to MCOC. We should be encouraging new players to come to the game. As much as people would say like, oh no, you shouldn't come to the game. Like, you should, because the fact is, we need more players to play the game, to continue the community, and therefore go and, continue the numbers and make sure the game lives for a lot longer than, you might think. I mean, we're coming up on 10 years next year. So that's pretty impressive for a mobile game. Some mobile games don't live past a year, 2 years at a stretch. Or they just trickle along with just like a little bit of money here and there, and very rarely update the games, which was Forged to Fight for a time until it was no more. But I think it might have been bought by Netflix, and it's like, well, again, that's down to money from selling it to potentially selling it to what is it called, Netflix, which is kind of naughty, really, if you think about it. But there you go. Anyway, moving on. Part 2 to this is all about this. I saw this particular thread, and I was like, what's this all about? Kabam, I guess it's time to stop releasing female champs for a while. I mean, female champs are fun. They're fun and smooth to play, but look at the quantity of female champs released this year. I guess it's way too many. Next month, Gladiator plus another female champ, Ironheart. I just hope you can release more male champs in the latter part of this year. I think this is a troll, because this is actually massively incorrect. I'll explain why. So I don't think anybody else, this is kind of like a problem that I didn't even know was a problem to, I'll assume, one person, because it just would be a bit ridiculous. So let's break out the list of playable champions for 2023. I'm sure we want to see the receipt. Of course you do. Okay, so we have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 champions released. 15 will be Gladiator, 16 will be Werewolf by Night, 17 will be Morbius. Now, what have I just said? 3 male-orientated characters. To bear in mind, male, female, whatever, it's like the Vision is a robot. It's a female robot. It's a robot. It doesn't... I'm not going to get into any more I'm not going to go in depth with unpacking that, but let's treat that as a female just for the sake of it. But yeah, if we look at it this way, here's the facts. Okay, Absorbing Man, Baron Zemo, Ant-Man, Future, Shocker, Sandman, Adam Warlock, Kindred, Gladiator, Werewolf by Night, Morbius. 10. Okay, 10 males to Where are we? There we go. Cassie Lang, Viv Vision, technically. Kate Bishop, Moondragon, Danny Moonstar, Lady Deathstrike. You see, did you see that? 10 for male, 6 for female. Do you get it? Do you get it? Like, that's the thing. Honestly, I didn't know I kind of like would do any kind of coverage of this, but this was a thread that kind of got a bit of discussion. Did it actually get closed? Yeah, it did get closed. And as Jack says, representation is important. Every champion has a story to tell. We will not be working to increase the number of male champions in the contest. Which is weird because so it just needs to. He could have said something different to that, but I mean, like, look, you just point out the facts. I'd say that. Just point out the facts. All right, let's point out the facts here. By the end of October, 10 males, 6 females. Anyway, as I said, this is like something that I didn't think I should have even done any kind of like coverage for, but I thought it was important because it's just a case of like when something's not factually correct, we have to kind of like cover it to go like, look, let's do an MCN coverage to go, it's better than it is. Now we're going to move on to something which is, and I don't know if like people this weekend, like over the last like, few days or whatever, and going into a little bit of last week, I don't know, maybe something in the water, I don't know, just like this, just you know when it's like it's time, there's some weird stuff be happening with the community. So anyway, saw this, thought we'd talk about it. So Kabam recently have been doing this. We'll be diving into everything you need about Gladiator, then we'll tell you about this, and you can win and giving away contest first 7-star Gladiator. So if you do this, follow the Twitch account. Yeah. Recently I saw people complaining about how small accounts that are proven to uncollected can get such a unique new character and not just 4 or 5 or even 6-star, but rather 7-star. In my opinion, this is unfair. Make this game not fun to play. New players, noobish level, blah 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 blah, and it's frustrating to see. So please add requirements for the giveaway. I know Twitch marketing is in force right now, but it's getting cringy. I don't think it is. Look, this is the bit. I would say that this player might have been new to the game with that thought process, but I don't know. Has anybody heard of something called the gifting event? Do you remember the gifting event and the banquet event? You know about that, right? That's been running in the game since what, 2016? So for the last, I mean, if this person has a problem with this particular element of the game, then technically they would have the same problem with something like the gifting event, the banquet event for the last 7 years, because for the last 7 years with those particular events have allowed the opportunity for lower accounts to be able to benefit from getting things like 6 stars and rarer materials, because the banquet crystal and the greater gifting crystal were never on a level playing field. Well, they were on a level playing field, everybody was able to obtain them, which meant you were able to get the spiciest things in game at a very low level. So Kabam Jax responded back to this to say that the live streams are meant to be exciting destinations for all summoners. The prospect of winning something in a giveaway shouldn't be a gate kept to only long time summoners. Additionally, one person walking away with a 7-star champion is not going to impact the way others play the game, regardless of the progression level. I would say yes, that's 99 or 95% true. The problem is now that we've got something like Battlegrounds, which means that if you use a 7-star at a very low level, then it could be the case that they're stomping on someone else because they're like, in defense, I put my Gladiator 7-star. Great. All I only have is 4 stars and 5 stars, and I can barely compete. Not saying that's exactly the case, but that's just the problem now we have with such a competitive element game mode that's in the game. And as well, Alliance Wars is another kind of factor to that one. So it's a bit of a thing. But look, I do agree with Colin on this one. Now let people have fun playing a video game. It's just like, I just kind of think like, let's just try and have fun. You know, I don't see a big issue to this one, as it's just a case of, it's like winning the lottery, isn't it? It's like a lot of people will be low income households, and it's like, well, if there's a chance that a low income household wins a lottery, it's like, it's life changing. I'm not saying that that's comparing to the game to go, oh, life changing lottery win game. Yeah, that's not the fairest of comparisons. But what I'm saying is the difference it will make can be quite amazing, and that's the thing, that's the joy of the excitement of it. The same way that when you go to the Marvel Contest of Champions booth at New York Comic Con, or might be at the Battle Round Brawl, if you spin a wheel and it lands on a 7-star that you can win, That's amazing. That could be really cool. I went to New York Comic Con 2019 where 6 stars were just becoming prevalent, spun a wheel and won a 6 star. And I was like, great, because I have very few amount of 6 stars available. So that was amazing to win. 3,100 units I think I won with that spinning of that wheel. And that was really exciting. So it could be the same thing when like somebody brand new to the game goes to that particular event in October, spins and wins something great. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Wouldn't that be absolutely great? And that's, you know, I think a lot of people are kind of on the same way of kind of like thinking with that one. But I don't know, thoughts in the comment section. Do you see it as a bad thing? Here's the thing, like I always thought to myself, like if I was to win that giveaway, that I would probably elect someone else within the community to win it. I've got to be honest, like I'm not like, yeah, if I'd won something, I just say, well, someone else in the community could win it. Could I elect somebody to receive it? The same way that kind of like M entered the competition. I was doing the dishes at the time. She entered the competition. Obviously, she didn't win. We'd probably be doing a video if she did win. But yeah, that'd be cool if she won. She's an uncollected player, so yeah, I don't know. Just a bit of fun, really. That's how I see it. Don't know how you see it. I'm just going to wrap up the show with the arena predictions and results. So Vox looks like 160 mil got position 121, 110 mil got position 390. It does look like Vox went a little bit higher than normal. So sadly, predictions wise, I was out by 10 mil. How fantastic was that? Or maybe 5 mil. I don't know. The full results close to 400 haven't been really posted, but we'll have to see. But 120 mil as well, I'll go for the round 2 prediction. 38 mil, enough. I think it's going to be more than enough. To be honest, I think it's 35. Let's just downgrade that to about 35. 32 got the 5 star. Kamala, no information, so we'll just leave it right there. In any case, thank you very much to those that support the channel, YouTube, member, Patreon, all that stuff. You are massively appreciated helping keep this channel going. Appreciate you, and also those on Twitch as well. In any case, check out some other content located on the screen, and I'll see you all soon. Much love and goodbye.